চলুন, নিজেকে সুরক্ষিত রাখুন। খোদা হাফেজ।
Assalamu alaikum. This is Rokia Samia, welcoming you to the English News Bulletin from Bangladesh Television Chattogram Center. Let's begin with the headlines. Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina leaves for United Arab Emirates on a 5-day official visit tomorrow. Potentials of blue economy must be ensured for strengthening country's economy, says Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina. Historic 7th March tomorrow, marking the fiery address of Father of the Nation Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman. People's purchase capacity increases more than 3 times during last 13 years, says Information and Broadcasting Minister Dr. Hassan Mahmood. And Russia will only halt military operation if Ukraine stops fighting, says Vladimir Putin. Viewers, those were the headlines. Now on to the details. Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina is scheduled to leave for United Arab Emirates tomorrow as the two countries eye to elevate the relationship to a comprehensive partnership with deeper political engagement. The Premier is going to the UAE at the invitation of ruler of Dubai and Vice President of the United Arab Emirates, Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum. Trade and commerce, investment, manpower, and cooperation in other potential areas will be discussed during the visit. Bangladesh and the United Arab Emirates are likely to sign 4 to 5 MOUs during Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina's visit to the Gulf country. Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina has asked the authorities concerned to take necessary measures to keep footpaths free from occupations for pedestrians, smooth movements alongside turning the Dhaka city into modern and more livable. The Premier said this while inaugurating development works of road drainage system and other activities in the newly incorporated 18 wards of Dhaka North City Corporation (DNCC) at Kanchpura High School field in Ward number 44 in Dhaka today. She joined the ceremony virtually from her official residence, Ganabhavan. She said attention should be given on keeping the footpaths free from illegal occupation to make those suitable for pedestrian movements while formulating plans by engineers and architects. The Prime Minister said that the densely populated Dhaka city should be made modern, greener and livable as much as possible. Mentioning that many parks and playgrounds were occupied earlier, she said, those are being reshaped in a beautiful manner after removing the illegal occupations. The Prime Minister said the roads and drains of the areas should be built beautifully and maintained hygiene and made more livable.
প্রতিনিধিরা আছেন আর এই প্রকল্প বাস্তবায়নের দায়িত্ব আমরা দিয়েছি আমাদের সেনাবাহিনীর উপর। আসলে আমি দেখেছি যত কঠিন কাজ হয় আমরা তাদেরকেই দায়িত্ব দিই এবং অত্যন্ত সুচারুভাবে তারা সেটা পালন করে এবং বাস্তবায়ন করে এবং সেনা প্রধান এখানে আছেন এবং অন্যান্য অফিসাররাও আছেন, সবাইকে আমি ধন্যবাদ জানাই। কিন্তু সাথে সাথে আমি এটাও বলবো যে সেখানকার নাগরিক যারা বা আপনাদের নির্বাচিত প্রতিনিধি যারা তাদেরকেও কিন্তু সহযোগিতা করতে হবে। তাদের পাশে থেকে কাজ করতে হবে, কাঁধে কাঁধ মিলিয়ে কাজ করতে হবে, তাহলে কাজটা সুন্দর সুষ্ঠুভাবে বাস্তবায়ন সম্ভব হবে। আবার এই কাজ করতে যে মানুষের জন্য অসুবিধা না হয় সেটাও দেখতে হবে। আর সেই সাথে আরেকটা বিষয় বলবো যে মানুষের যেমন সুবিধা ভোগ করার অধিকার আছে, কিন্তু আবার নাগরিক কিছু দায়িত্ব পালন করতে হয়। যারা অধিকার ভোগ করবে তাদের দায়িত্ব পালন করতে হবে। সেই ক্ষেত্রে প্রত্যেকেই নিজ নিজ ঘরবাড়ি শুধু না, নিজের সামনের রাস্তাটাও যাতে পরিষ্কার পরিচ্ছন্ন থাকে, এই পরিচ্ছন্নতার দিকে বিশেষভাবে দৃষ্টি দিতে হবে।
Local Government, Rural Development and Cooperatives Minister Mohammad Tajul Islam, Dhaka North City Corporation Mayor Mohammad Atikul Islam, and Chief of Army Staff General S.M. Shafiuddin Ahmed spoke at the program. Senior Secretary of Local Government Division Hilal Uddin Ahmed moderated the function. Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina has said her government has been taking required measures to leverage the potentials of the blue economy to further expedite the country's development. The Premier was addressing the Mujib Barshu passing out of for the first batch of the Marine Fisheries Academy at its campus in Chattogram. She joined the ceremony virtually from Ganabhavan in Dhaka today. The Prime Minister said her government has successfully achieved the Millennium Development Goals and is set to achieve the Sustainable Development Goals. The country's economy is advancing towards prosperity with gaining cherished strength despite economic setback due to the coronavirus, she said. Referring to attaining a vast sea area from India and Myanmar, Sheikh Hasina said Awami League government has laid special emphasis on blue economy. She said extraction of resources from the sea has opened a new door in the socio-economic development of country's growing population.
কর্মজীবনের উন্নতির প্রধান ভিত্তি হলো কঠোর পরিশ্রম, সময়ানুবর্তিতা, সততা, কর্মদক্ষতা, মূল্যবোধ, দেশ ও জাতির প্রতি কর্তব্যনিষ্ঠা এবং দেশপ্রেম। এই বোধগুলো আত্মস্থ করে ভবিষ্যৎ কর্মক্ষেত্রে নিজ নিজ দায়িত্ব পালনের মাধ্যমে দেশের ভাবমূর্তি উজ্জ্বল করবে এবং দেশের উন্নতির জন্য নিবেদিত প্রাণ হয়ে কাজ করবে, যেমন ভবিষ্যৎ যারা বংশধর তারাও যেন সুন্দর জীবন পায়। ভবিষ্যৎ বংশধর প্রজন্মের পর প্রজন্মের জন্য উন্নত সুন্দর জীবন পায়, সেই লক্ষ্য নিয়ে ইতিমধ্যে আমরা ডেল্টা প্ল্যান 2100 প্রণয়ন করে তা বাস্তবায়নের কাজ আমরা শুরু করেছি। কাজে বাংলাদেশ এগিয়ে যাবে অপ্রতিরোধ্য গতিতে। বাংলাদেশ উন্নত সমৃদ্ধ দেশ হবে, সেটাই আমরা বিশ্বাস করি। আর তোমরাই তো হবে এই সমৃদ্ধ বাংলাদেশ, উন্নত বাংলাদেশের কর্ণধার।
Fisheries and Livestock Minister S.M. Rizal Karim and Secretary of the Ministry Dr. Muhammad Yamin Chaudhry also spoke on the occasion. On behalf of the Prime Minister, the Fisheries and Livestock Minister distributed awards among the cadets for their outstanding performances in various fields. The nation is going to observe the historic March 7 tomorrow, commemorating the landmark speech of Father of the Nation Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, which was touted as an indirect declaration of the country's independence in 1971. On March 7, Bangabandhu, in his historic speech at a mammoth rally in the then racecourse Maidan, directed the freedom-loving Bengalis for waging a decisive struggle against the Pakistani occupation forces.
রক্ত যখন দিয়েছি, রক্ত আরো দেব, এই দেশের মানুষকে মুক্ত করে ছাড়বো ইনশাআল্লাহ। এবারে সংগ্রাম আমাদের মুক্তির সংগ্রাম, এবারে সংগ্রাম স্বাধীনতার সংগ্রাম। জয় বাংলা।
This year, the observance of the day will be more significant as the nation is going to celebrate the Golden Jubilee of the country's independence on March 26, while Mujib Year, the celebration of Bangabandhu's birth centenary, is going on. On October 13 in 2017, UNESCO recognized the historic speech as part of the world's documentary heritage as the landmark fiery speech of Bangabandhu inspired the Bengalis to prepare for the War of Liberation in 1971. Marking the day, different socio-cultural and political organizations, student and professional bodies have drawn up elaborate programs, including laying wreaths at the portrait of Bangabandhu and holding discussions with maintaining health guidelines amid the coronavirus pandemic. Meanwhile, Bangladesh Awami League has taken elaborate programs to observe the historic March 7 in a befitting manner. Marking the day, a discussion will be arranged at the central office of Awami League on Bangabandhu Avenue at 11 a.m. Awami League President and Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina will chair the discussion at virtual platform. Information and Broadcasting Minister, also Awami League Joint General Secretary Dr. Hassan Mahmood has said the fate of every citizen of the country has changed during last 13 years and their purchase capacity increased by more than 3 times. He said this at a discussion on the historic 7 March speech of Bangabandhu at the National Museum in Dhaka today. Awami League Forest and Environment Affairs Subcommittee organized it. Dr. Hassan Mahmood said, leaders of BNP have been misleading people in the name of politics as they cannot accept the development in the country.
বাংলাদেশে গত 13 বছরে মানুষের মাথাপিছু আয় $600 থেকে $2600 উন্নীত হয়েছে, অর্থাৎ প্রায় 4.5 গুণ বৃদ্ধি পেয়েছে। আর মানুষের ক্রয় ক্ষমতা নিম্ন আয়ের মানুষের 3 গুণ বৃদ্ধি পেয়েছে। প্রতিটি মানুষের ভাগ্যের উন্নয়ন হয়েছে, প্রতিটি মানুষের উন্নয়ন হয়েছে। এটাই পরিবর্তন। মির্জা ফখরুল ইসলাম আলমগীর সাহেব এগুলো দেখেও দেখে না। মানুষকে বিভ্রান্ত করার জন্য মির্জা ফখরুল ইসলাম আলমগীর সাহেবরা রাজনীতি করে। তারা মানুষকে কিছু দিতে পারেনি অতীতে। তারা দুর্নীতিতে দেশকে পরপর 5 বার চ্যাম্পিয়ন বানিয়েছিল, হাওয়া ভবন বানিয়ে সমান্তরাল সরকার পরিচালনা করেছিল এবং সমস্ত ব্যবসার উপর টোল বসিয়েছিল। এটি শুধু তারা মানুষকে দিতে পেরেছে, অন্য কিছু দিতে পারেনি। আজকে শেখ হাসিনার নেতৃত্বে বাংলাদেশ হচ্ছে পৃথিবীর সামনে ইমার্জিং টাইগার। শেখ হাসিনার নেতৃত্বে বাংলাদেশ আজকে পৃথিবীর সামনে উন্নয়নের উদাহরণ। এগুলো আসলে তাদের সহ্য হয় না বিধায় তারা জনগণকে বিভ্রান্ত করার রাজনীতি বেছে নিয়েছে। তাই নেতাকর্মীদের অনুরোধ জানাবো, বঙ্গবন্ধুর 7 মার্চের ভাষণের মাধ্যমে একটি নিরস্ত্র জাতি সশস্ত্র জাতিতে রূপান্তরিত হয়ে স্বাধীনতা ছিনিয়ে এনেছিল। আর জননেত্রী শেখ হাসিনার নেতৃত্বে আজকে দেশ পৃথিবীকে অবাক করে দিয়ে এগিয়ে যাচ্ছে। এই উন্নয়ন অগ্রগতি যাদের পছন্দ হয় না, তারা জনগণকে বিভ্রান্ত করার রাজনীতি করছে।
Chairman of the Subcommittee of Forest and Environment Affairs of Awami League, Professor Dr. Khandakar Bozlul Haq presided over the discussion. Dhaka University's Pro-Vice Chancellor Dr. Muhammad Samad, Senior Journalist Shamal Dotto, Awami League Executive Committee Member Marufa Akhtar Poppy and Awami League Forest and Environment Secretary Delwar Hossain also spoke. Noted poet Nirmali Dugun addressed the function by joining online. Now international news. Vladimir Putin has told Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan in a phone call that Russia will only halt its military operation if Ukraine stops fighting and Moscow's demands are met. Meanwhile, for a second day, there are attempts to evacuate trapped civilians from the besieged southern city of Mariupol. Ukrainian officials said a new route had been agreed with Russian forces that was meant to open at 12 local time. It's not clear yet how this is unfolding on the ground. Earlier on yesterday, a planned evacuation corridor was aborted due to Russian attacks. Meanwhile, Pope Francis has said the Ukraine conflict is not a military operation but a war, and called Ukraine a martyred country where rivers of tears and blood flow. The United Nations said the number of people fleeing Russia's invasion of Ukraine has topped 1.5 million, making it Europe's fastest growing refugee crisis since World War II. In the last 24 hours, the world has witnessed over 16,46,000 new coronavirus cases with 8,000 deaths. COVID-19 global death toll reaches 60,11,000 and over 44,42,42,000 people have been infected globally. Besides, 37,71,50,000 people have recovered from the virus so far. 8 COVID-19 patients died in the country, taking the number of death toll from the pandemic to 29,085. The recovery count rose to 18,43,338 after another 3,340 recovered during the period. The tally of the infections rose to 19,47,266, with 3,068 cases being confirmed. Meanwhile, no one died from coronavirus in Chattogram during last 24 hours, taking the number of death toll to 1,362. With this, total number of corona patients in Chattogram has stood at 1,26,544, with 12 new cases being confirmed during the last 24 hours. Chattogram Amur Ekushi Book Fair is growing momentum with the passing on each day. On the 12th day of the fair, premises of Emiaz Stadium become buzzed with the footsteps of book lovers, as many were seen to wait eagerly to have their books signed by the riders. The fair has already drawn a huge number of crowds, soaring sales of books on different genres of literature and other areas of knowledge. The stall attendants were seen busy dealing with the visitors as crowds flocked to different stalls and pavilions. Discussions on literature, culture, and various contemporary issues were also held. The fair will continue till March 10. Chattogram City Corporation has evicted illegal establishments built on Birza Khal, including Mainspara in East Sholoshahar ward of the city. City Corporation Executive Magistrate Marufa Begum Nelly conducted the drive in the morning. About 300 feet of City Corporation's land was freed from illegal establishments at that time. Now news on share market. The prices of the Chattogram Stock Exchange have fallen and the price index of CAC 30 has also decreased. At the end of the day, the over-index stood at 19,444.48, which is 0.65% lower than that of the previous day. Besides, the price index of CAC 30 stands at 13,865.85, which is 0.34% lower than that of the previous day. Today, a total of 95,33,336 shares of 274 companies were traded, the value of which is more than 17,81,31,000 taka. Of them, share of 85 companies increased, 158 reduced, 31 remained unchanged. Now news on Chattogram Port. Today, 5 ships berthed at the port, while 3 ships has left the port. Meanwhile, 19 ships are staying at port jetties and 10 ships waiting for berth at the port. Besides, 46 ships are unloading goods in the outer anchorage, while 8,082 containers were handled today. Now news on sports. Football. Liverpool beat West Ham 1-0 in English Premier League football. Sadio Mane scored the only goal for the team. Chelsea beat Burnley 4-0 in another match of the day. Manchester City is now at the top of the table with 66 points in 27 matches, and Liverpool is at number 2 with 63 points. Meanwhile, Real Madrid thrashed Real Sociedad 4-1. Real Madrid is holding the top of the point table with 63 points in 27 matches, and Sevilla is at second. In Ligue 1, Paris Saint-Germain lost 1-0 to Nice. PSG is at the top of the table with 72 points in 27 matches. Nice is at number 2 in the table with 49 points. Now weather news. Weather may remain dry with temporary partly cloudy sky over the river basin and adjoining area during early morning. Botinga Met Office says night and day temperature may remain nearly unchanged over the area. The highest temperature in the city today was 33.4 degrees Celsius, which is 2.8 degrees Celsius above the normal temperature, and the lowest temperature was 19.4 degrees Celsius, which is 0.9 degrees Celsius below the normal temperature. In Chattogram tomorrow, the sun will rise at 6:09 a.m. and will set at 5:59 p.m. Now the tide schedule of Cornwall River tomorrow. First low tide will start at 3:30 a.m. First high tide will start at 9:57 a.m. Second low tide will start at 3:47 p.m. Second high tide will start at 10:17 p.m. That's all from the newsroom. To end the bulletin, a recap of the headlines. Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina leaves for United Arab Emirates on a 5-day official visit tomorrow. Potentials of blue economy must be ensured for strengthening country's economy, says Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina. Historic 7th March tomorrow, marking the fury at Reza, father of the nation, Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman. People's purchase capacity increases more than 3 times during last 30 years, says Information and Broadcasting Minister Dr. Hassan Mahmoud. Russia will only halt military aggression if Ukraine stops fighting, says Vladimir Putin. Thanks to all for being with us. We invite you to watch our tomorrow's bulletin at the same time. Maintain the health rules and stay safe. Khuda Hafiz.